You are born enough, you wake up enough, and you go to sleep enough. Your value doesn't change, certainly not in God's eyes, based on how well you train or compete. That is irrelevant to who you are and the value you are and your place in this world.
It's time to live anchored in something far greater than the scoreboard. This isn't just about being a better athlete. It's about becoming who God created us to be. This is No Striving. Well, hey team, welcome to No Striving. My name's Brad McCullough, and today I have with me Jonathan Moody. Jonathan Moody is a short track speed skater, born in New Zealand and skates for Great Britain. Welcome, Jonathan. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started as a speed skater.
I started skating for Great Britain when I was 16, but about 4 years prior to that is when I actually first took to the ice, and that was in New Zealand. Grew up in New Zealand, born in New Zealand. I just had a friend that invited me onto a trial session of short track speed skating, and I was like, well, sounds pretty cool. I've been known to tear around as a child. Love the idea of being quick, of fast, of speed, of crashes, all that kind of stuff.
Daredevil.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, well, why not try?
Yeah.
First session, loved it. And then didn't really look back.
So tell us how you actually came to be a speed skater, and give us a little bit of a background on how you got into it.
It's not a very big program or a very big sport in New Zealand, but I did what I could where I could. Our family, we had the opportunity to go to the States on my 13th birthday even, which was great because I had because of the time zone shift, we flew on the morning of my birthday and landed at the same time I left. So I had a long birthday that day. It was great.
Nice.
But we went to the States, and I thought, we're going to have more skating there because it's the States. Unfortunately, not the case. We're actually miles away from an ice rink that did short track. I would make the trip every so often to go down further south to skate with a club that skated there, and slowly started falling more in love with the sport. Unfortunately, on my last session there, where we're in the States for just under a year, I broke my leg in 3 places.
Wow.
And it was pretty gnarly. It took me like 9 months just to kind of even walk normally again after that. Pretty gnarly, like I said. It was actually that kind of whole process that made me realize I wanted to go all out for the sport.
Wow.
Because I had started late, and then with the broken leg, I was even further behind. And I was like, well, if I want to take it seriously, like I need to go all in. I need to catch up. I mean, the gap that is between me and other people my age or a bit older that are obviously much further down the path of their elite athlete career. In that time, we also had, as a family, so we finished in the States. We had an opportunity to go to Great Britain.
Right.
And be there as for a church plant opportunity.
Nice.
Which was a pretty exciting thing that we decided as a family. I have 2 older brothers and obviously mum and dad. And then together we're like, that sounds like a pretty cool opportunity. Went there, kept skating when I was there. We found a local club. After maybe like a year of skating in the UK, I got approached by the head of the performance director for, at the time, GB Short Track.
Wow, yeah.
And he was like, look, I'm just going to put it to you straight. If you do well at our squad trials, we'll have you on the team. And I was like, do you know I'm from New Zealand? Like, one, it was pretty funny. The guy was just there kind of helping out. And I remember asking another athlete, like, who is that? Like, why is there some guy just here? And like, that's the performance director. I was like, oh. And then same day, it's not just the performance director here, it's the performance director here to meet with you to let you know that.
Wow.
They had obviously been keeping track and stuff, and longer story short, trials went well, and I was invited onto the British team.
And you've been skating for them ever since?
I have been, yeah. I took a brief year out after the 2022 Olympic Games.
Can you go into why that was that you took that year out?
A lot of things really culminated with the decision to take a step back. The real guts of it is I had been a full-time athlete for 7 years. Before the season ended, I felt like I needed a break.
Right.
I was kind of a little bit burnt out. I just knew I wanted to not focus on me just for a bit, take some more perspective on life. Growing up, we had done some like outreaches and mission trips with the church, and even just as a family to some different countries. I knew I wanted to do something more like that again. I would take credit for that. Wow, nice decision. But really it was, the Holy Spirit prompts. We got to train through COVID in the UK, which I'm very grateful about. But it was about 2 years of kind of just straight up isolation. I wasn't there with my family. Essentially, our team, it was just our team. We trained and we existed in that space. All our international competitions got cancelled because of COVID. Suddenly, it was the Olympic season. We had no warm-ups. So we were just kind of going in a bit, unsure of where we actually were matching up with the rest of the world.
For somebody like yourself, like being that young and being in that position, what did you lean on when you were in that space?
I leaned on Christ, but I want to say in the wrong ways, in terms of, sure, some were the right ways, like a relationship with Jesus is always a little better. But some of my thinking was like, oh, God's with me, it's going to be okay. But in terms of it's going to be okay, yes, God works everything for good for those that love him according to his purpose. I was thinking it's going to be okay. God's with me, I'm going to the Olympics. Not, it's going to be okay because God's with me no matter what happens in this life. I was like, God's with me. There'd been like some pretty miraculous stuff that even allowed me to be in a position to compete, to go to the Olympics. And I was like, oh yeah, like all these miracles is pointing like I'm going to the Olympics. And lo and behold, I didn't qualify. I was a little bit devastated, really. And I had an athlete, a teammate and a really close friend came out to me and they weren't, they're not Christian, but they asked me, does it help though, being a Christian, that like your value comes from God and that instead? And it was so convicting because I remember thinking it should, but it's not. And I went on a bit of a journey with my relationship with God from that point onwards. It wasn't that it wasn't real to me prior, but during that whole space of training, competing, and being the short track speed skater, being someone only focused on that, I didn't realize my identity was becoming my ability in my sport. And it was. And suddenly when the thing I was supposed to be good enough at, I wasn't good enough at, my value started having to be drawn from other things in my life. Like, am I a good enough friend? Am I good enough at this? Am I good enough at that? And it wasn't settling on you're born enough, like you're valued by God. Like, that's the bottom line. God really graciously took me on a journey, healed me of my insecurities and really spoke to me about my identity and all that kind of head knowledge that you kind of grow up in church. Like, God loves you and all these amazing truths, but they kind of just floated around up in my head. Like, I know that. And over the next year, they really became part of like what I know deep down in my heart and in my understanding and my relationship with God. Like, okay, we in life can quite often, pretty naturally, I think, to be honest, strive. As we're striving towards those things, we strive and we work, and it's not that trust and that rest in the relationship of our heavenly God.
Totally understand that. I've been in that same same thing where you strive for something, but then until you realize that you have to rest in him, you have to rest in God, and then take action, and action equals the faith.
I mean, it's obviously, like we're saying, it's a natural occurrence. Like as any athlete that might be watching this, your life becomes the result in terms of, oh, there's this competition coming up, which means in training I need this. Which means at this competition I need this. This qualifying round, like in this race you need top 2, and you go to the next 2, and that top 2 means you qualify for this competition, and in that competition you need this, and it becomes very you need. Everyone's telling you need this, you need this.
How many young guys actually feel the pressure and go through depression and anxiety and all those other things because the pressure that's placed upon them is so powerful.
On the concept of pressure is it's not a tangible sense. It's made up in your head. It's not made up in your head in terms of like that pressure. Okay, you put pressure on someone for a good result. That's fine. And in my understanding now, in terms of like how free it is to go to a competition and my value isn't tied with the result I get. If someone expects a lot out of me, the pressure isn't something that I take on board for myself, speaking to the value of myself. Oh, I didn't get the result. I had pressure to do it. I didn't. My value decreases. That's not the case anymore. And wow, how fun competing is when you go into it. Work with it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for man.
Good man.
You are going out for everything you can possibly give. But at the end of the day, you know that when you come home, and I remember in the depths of trying to qualify for the Olympics, because we go out internationally for a few weeks, come back, a couple weeks training, go back out internationally again. I went out, I competed, I competed like well, but obviously, like I said, not well enough. Came home and I was like, I don't want to go home because I'm going back into the room that I've been training for all this time and nothing's changed. Whereas with God, without that striving, with the understanding, like I said, born enough, it doesn't affect your value. It's not talking on who you are. The concept that, let's say you're, I don't know, a long distance jumper. Your technique's not quite right and you don't get as far into that sandpit as you should have done. And now in your head, I'm of less value. Like, if you think about it that way, that's such a crazy concept. Like, especially even, what if you just weren't an athlete? You wouldn't feel degraded by not doing something that well physically because you haven't tied an arbitrary concept of value to this thing. Going out and competing with the pure thrill of the competition because you love to compete, without the I love to compete and I need results because that's who I am and who am I without them. I know it's such a privilege to compete and it's so fun. And there's so many athletes I know that they don't love their sport anymore because of the pressure. I remember talking to someone who's like, they used to think on their way to their football game, I hope our bus breaks down or I hope I twist my ankle or something. Because then I won't be able to compete. And the pressure will be off.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is the sport you love. And I felt that. I felt that.
I knew a sprinter like that who'd get on the line. Absolutely fast. Fijian guy. Had wheels for Africa, but he'd get on the line and the little guy would be warming up next to him, but he'd psych him out. Yeah. And as he psyched him out, he'd like do a knee or an ankle or a calf or something like that as he came off the line. It goes beyond those physical or mental things. Actually, someone asked me recently, like, well, so much pressure, so many competitions, so much mental. And I was like, well, yes and no. Yes, but no, really. Not if you truly trust that God works out everything for good. Then that the pressure's back off. Not in terms of like, oh, I'm just going to go out and see what happens. No, I'm going to go out and give my absolute best, but to trust in the Heavenly Father that can do so much more beyond our sliver of a scope of what we see in our lives. Yeah. Then the pressure's off. Nice. And you have fun, and honestly, the more fun you have, the better results you get. Do you know how good it feels to cheer on your teammate that's doing better than you with not an ounce of they're beating me? Yeah. That's freedom. That's freedom right there. Yeah. If you had a whole team of Christians like that, you could imagine the fun, the absolute energy that would come with that, because you're working for excellence. You're not working for performance or for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for the present life and life to come. Those things blow my mind. If an athlete operated from those, wow, nothing could stop, So just give us a little bit of an insight as a skater, what the skate program's like, how your training comes about. Skating to me is a new sport. I presume it's a power sport, absolute power sport. I like to call it one of the most complete sports, short track speed skating, is because technique is hugely important. It doesn't matter how strong you are, if you can't get into the corner and get out of the corner with good technique to hold the lean, doesn't matter. You're competing against other people, but you don't have your own lanes. So it is just a race against other people. Other people can interfere with how you do. Obviously mental. Every sport's mental. But then like the physical aspect of it is huge in terms of we train so much for our lactic acid capabilities to perform power endurance, that kind of stuff. So at the moment, a lot of summer training, cycling, running, gym, big leg press, heavy squatting, and a lot of it like eccentric holds, eccentric loading. And then things we call like cord and bungee imitations, which are things that we're trying to replicate the strength and the technique off the ice that look like on the ice, but they're off the ice. And then very shortly I'll be getting back into the ice, and that's always like 5 to 8 ice sessions a week. The grind at the moment is big bike rides and big gym. I'm trying to get back to I want a PB, to be honest. Everyone wants the PB all the time. Personal bests are nice, but I've managed to get up to 220 kgs in my single leg press. I would love 250. Nice. And what's the plans going ahead? I understand that you now have a ministry attached to you as an athlete.
It's a ministry in terms of I was devastated when I didn't go to the Olympics. And I know a lot of other people, it's not like, oh, I know other people felt it because I know I felt it. No, like I had conversations with people, athletes from my team, from other teams. And it's not like you can look up any article online and just be like, what is the depression rates of elite athletes post the Olympics or something like that.
Yeah.
And it'll feed out to you in abundance and how brutal it is. I was only okay after the Olympics because God met me and helped me deal with the insecurities and issues I had. Frankly, I don't know how I would have been if God hadn't met me. And with that mindset, I know other athletes who have gone through that, who don't have God, and I'm looking at them like, how are you okay? The truth is some probably have done all right with great mentors, I guess, but also there's going to be a lot that are hurting. I'm just myself going out in sport, but wanting to share that this isn't all there is. Like, God's pretty good and he's pretty great and he's pretty big and he's got you.
And he's got some big plans.
And he's got some great big plans.
Big plans
Indeed.
to give you a future and to prosper you and not harm you, right? So what would be your advice to an up-and-coming Christian athlete?
You are born enough, you wake up enough, and you go to sleep enough. Your value doesn't change, certainly not in God's eyes, based on how well you train or compete. That is irrelevant to who you are and the value you are and your place in this world. And as sooner you can realize that need to have to do these results, that need to do this because I need it, to just let that go and compete for the fun of it. And as you compete, like, those results will take care of themselves.
If you've done the work, you've done your due diligence, you've had the discipline to train and do all the things.
Don't get me wrong. Don't go up expecting like, oh, God's on my side. I got this. And you've stayed awake till 3 a.m. on TikTok.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
But you've done, like I said, your due diligence. You leave those results. That's not your weight to carry.
Awesome.
Well,
that was thank you for coming on. Good luck for the future, and obviously
thank you.
God bless you in your travels.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.